coming at you right now from the Metal Ben Mobile here on Metal Ben's Chronicles, where metal lives. You know what? Yesterday, a very legendary, a very iconic album amongst the world of heavy metal, thrash metal, speed metal, whatever you want to call it, turned 35 years old yesterday. Now, this album was originally released on March 3rd, 1986, so I'm a day late, when it comes to doing this video. And, yeah, released on Elektra Records, produced by Flemming Rasmussen, recorded in Copenhagen, Denmark in 1985. What album could I be talking about? Master of Puppets, of course. First album released on a major label, Elektra Records, Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to really say about Master of Puppets that hasn't been said already. It's a very influential album. It's a very iconic album. It's legendary. It's definitely very high up there when it comes to a plethora of lists, when it comes to the greatest heavy metal albums of all time. Up there with albums like Screaming for Vengeance, Number of the Beast, Back in Black, Paranoid. Up there with those legendary albums. Machine Head by Deep Purple, and the list goes on and on. Rainbow Rising, Holy Diver. Yeah, it's definitely up there, 8 tracks, Battery, Master of Puppets, The Thing That Should Not Be, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Disposable Heroes, Leper Messiah, Orion, and Damage Incorporated to end off this 54-minute and some odd seconds of an album. Perfect album, in my opinion. I think this was definitely Metallica's shining moment. Now, Ride the Lightning's my favorite Metallica album, but this album is not far behind at all. And it's the very first album I ever heard when it comes to an album of this kind of caliber when it comes to, a more extreme style of metal music. Way back in 1988 when I was 9 years old. And right away I was hooked on this legendary masterpiece. And of course, I would end up hearing Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, and etc. and etc. And I got into a plethora of other metal bands, thrash metal bands, speed metal bands, US power metal bands, the list goes on and on. Then down the road, death metal, black metal, But right here's where it all began. 33 years ago for me, as a young little 9-year-old kid. I mean, it's just a legendary album. I have many memories with this album. Be it hanging around with friends, listening to it, partying, listening to it. Just so many memories. It's iconic for a reason, You got James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett, Lars Ulrich, and the legendary late, great Cliff Burton, which quintessentially, this is definitely Cliff's album. This is definitely Cliff's album to me. Orion's a masterpiece when it comes to an instrumental. It's just phenomenal. The instrumentations in Master of Puppets, Disposable Hero, You got the ballad like Welcome Home Sanitarium. You got the thrash of Damage Inc. and Battery, And you got the killer groove of Leper Messiah. And the Thing That Should Not Be, the heaviness of The Thing That Should Not Be. The only track they did up to that point dropped down to drop D, when it comes to tuning-wise. But yeah, there's not much more to say about this great album that hasn't been said and that hasn't been documented. And Master of Puppets is going to be talked about 100 years from now. It will be. But yeah, not really a review. Just me saying, happy 35th anniversary to the album that started it all for me. Master of Puppets. And that's pretty much all I really have to say right now. And many more years of this legendary album being remembered. Alright, peace out.